welcome to my channel Knitting with Vitalina Craft, and thank you very much for joining me for new podcast episode. Today I'm going to share a few tips, my new designing process, talk about some problems which I'm having during this process, share a few finished objects, as well as I will talk about few recently published patterns. I'd like to start with my most recent finished object and my new design, and it's Morning Mist hat and scarf set. Last time I shared the designing process of scarf. At that time I had just beginning of scarf. It was just a sample, and this time I'm happy to say that I completed the whole set, and I'm very happy with the final result. I already blocked the scarf and it became super soft after blocking. The stitches and the pattern opened up really beautifully. The stitch looks like traveling simple cables, but there are no cables here. I created this stitch using just increases and decreases, and I'm also happy to say that I managed to make both ends of scarf absolutely symmetrical, and the scarf is double-sided too, so it can be worn both ways facing, which is really great for the scarf. The set is knitted with decay weight yarn, and the heart is knitted with smaller needles for the proper snug fit around head. The scarf is also knitted with looser gauge than heart on bigger knitting needles. It helped me to achieve more drape and more flexible fabric, so it's really easy to style around neck. I already opened this knit for the scarf and for the hat as well, so I hope I will be able to publish the pattern very soon. The next project I want to share today is my trimetry socks, which I started knitting before my previous podcast episode, and this is socks for my husband. And I don't want to say this, but it's getting harder to knit such a dark color on smaller needles, because I like to be able to see the stitch properly. I would say to read the stitch. So in case of mistake, I can catch it up quickly and fix it without unraveling. In this case, I have a very big problem, which is why I knit this pair very slowly and a few centimeters a day. I think it would be easier just stop knitting this and change to another color, but this color was chosen by my daughter, and my husband also approved it. So I think I will continue this very slowly, and hopefully I will be able to complete this before Christmas. We'll see how it goes. Also, I'm so happy that I started knitting this pair on metal needles, because my other needles, what I've got in my collection, are wooden needles and made with rosewood, and they are really dark. So knitting on metal needles in silver color helps a bit, and also I make sure that I knit with very good lighting next to the window during daytime or with proper floor light. I think it's all about this project. If you've got any helpful tips for knitting with dark yarn, please let me know. Maybe I will be able to complete this project quicker. So my next project is adult sweater. Last time I mentioned that I'm going to knit adult version of my quiet season sweater, and I graded the pattern for adult sizes and I started knitting this sweater, and I can say that I completed quite a big part of this project. I'm on a sleeve island and ready to knit ribbon for the sleeves, and also I need to finish ribbon on the body of sweater. But not everything goes well with this project or as good as I expected. First of all, I started knitting this project with raw yarn. What I mean, I wanted to knit the sweater in this yarn, which is Rowan Alpaca Soft Decay yarn. It's very soft and beautiful color. It's violet, or I would say it's beetroot color. But with this yarn, I wasn't able to knit the correct size. I knitted almost the whole skein for the top part of back, and found that my gauge is out and sweater is going to be really wide. So I decided to change the yarn and use original yarn which I used for the child sweater, and it's Drops Puna natural mix. And for my sweater I'm using shade taupe. The choice of yarn in my stash is not big because last year I decided to stop buying yarn as collection and decided to knit as much as I can from my stash. So I decided to use this yarn. Unfortunately, pretty soon I understood that I don't have enough yarn to complete the whole sweater, and I ordered a few skeins of yarn online. Of course, I wasn't able to choose the dye a lot, and I finished up with yarn from other batch. And I don't know if you can see this on the screen, but difference between two shades quite big or quite noticeable. And I'm currently thinking if I should continue the sweater like it is, or should I start this with a new yarn. But it's really hard decision because I almost completed the whole sweater, and now I need to do something about this. Probably if I need ribbon for the bottom hem of body and cuffs for sleeves in new dye lot of this yarn, probably it will look like design feature. We'll see. I have to think about this, but probably in the future or during this knitting process I will try to complete another sample, maybe in lighter color, or buy more yarn from new batch, from new dye lot. We'll see. So here I already had two problems, like run yarn and run out of yarn. Also, this morning I decided to steam block the sweater to check the fit more properly, making sure that I wouldn't knit the sleeves too long and that body of sweater has a good fit. And after steam blocking, I found and I noticed that my gauge for knitting sleeves on shorter needles, on shorter circular needles, is different and much smaller than my gauge for knitting the body of sweater. My calculations are correct for the whole design. My sleeves look a bit narrower than I expected. So this is another problem which I'm having. I already seen this gauge problem on my previous knits, but honestly speaking, I thought it was another problem. I thought that probably I accidentally picked up wrong size of needles. But now I'm sure that I'm knitting sleeves with the correct needles because I checked them twice already, but I still got this problem. So probably in my previous sweaters I had the same problem. Now I have to think how to deal with it now. It's quite easy to unravel sleeves and knit this with different needles, but I need experiment more and check why I'm knitting sleeves tighter than the body of the sweater. So here what I wanted to say about this project. I will think how to solve sleeves problem and different yarn shade problem as well. And I hope to start a new test knit probably next month. Now I'd like to share a few words about my recently published patterns. It's a set of headbands and a simple scarf. Both patterns are now available from Ravelry. The first one is a set of headbands, and I call this pattern Love is Headbands Duo. The pattern is written for two headbands with two styles of heart motifs and with two different ribbons. The headbands are knitted with double knitting yarn. I used some leftover yarns from other projects. As you can see, you don't need a lot to complete the headband. It's very good project for trying the color work for the first time, and it's also written for both children and adults, and it makes a really great last moment gift. I will add link for the pattern below the video. As for the scarf is knitted in English rib, which is very easy to knit stitch, and it's decorated with the fringe from both ends. The scarf can be knitted in any yarn weight, or I think in some yarn combinations, like using 2 strands of different yarn for some interesting effect, or maybe to make the scarf more airy, or change the color, like make it multicolored. Also, I think it will look great using different colors, make some stripes, so it's another great project for using like single skeins, or maybe some leftover yarns. Also, recently I recorded a video tutorial for the scarf for how to knit this stitch, and also how to add the fringe. If you haven't seen it yet, check my channel, and I will add a link to the description below as well. You can knit this scarf without pattern watching just my video tutorial, but if you need the written pattern, it's available from Ravelry. It's basically all what I wanted to share with you today. Thank you very much for watching this episode to the end. I really enjoyed talking about my knitting and designing process, about problems which I'm having during designing and how I'm dealing with them. I've got so many plans and ideas which I'm going to show and share with you soon. I also working on some new designs and some new video tutorials, so if you are interested, please subscribe to my channel. Keep watching for the updates, and until next time, happy knitting!